Trump's first tweet to Sadiq Khan. We have that right, Matt? Where basically what Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, said was there's no need to be alarmed. And he meant this in the context of there's heightened police presence on the street, but everybody stay calm. And Donald Trump tweeted, pathetic excuse by London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who had to think fast on his no reason to be alarmed statement. MSM is working hard to sell it. Now, Ben, I don't know that we're the MSM, but can we work hard to sell it together, please?
Yeah, let's work hard.
Yes.
Let's work hard to sell it. Yeah. I mean, it's I've reached a point. I first of all, I am at the risk of. It's not a risk. It would be oversharing, but I've started taking anxiety medicine most nights to sleep.
Wow.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, there's nothing going on in my personal life that needs dramatic attention, no more than usual.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ben, I don't want to be palling with you here, but I mean, really?
I just want to be held, Michael, and I don't understand. We've been married for 5 years. It doesn't seem. No, I think it's world anxiety, and I get. And I was watching a bunch of interviews of people on the left interviewing people this week, and the whole thing made me tremendously anxious. And this fits into that. I mean, and it's hard to know where to put this. Here you are on a Monday, and you're hosting the show, and and I'm not entirely sure why this is any bigger news than 137 other things before it. But it is. I mean, it's certainly as big. He continues to prove himself unstable, mendacious, and disinterested in the world and how things work. The other story out today, just that McMaster and Tillerson and Mattis, the men on whom we're relying for our safety, all were assured that he was going to mention Article 5 when he spoke to NATO.
Right.
And they learned as he made the speech that he himself had removed it.
Right.
Like, he's a guy who doesn't get how the world works. And so yeah, here's an opportunity as an attack in our closest ally. And, he sees the value in essentially inserting himself in it as if it's an attack here and scaring people here. And as a bonus at the same time, ridiculing a Muslim.
Right.
It works on a lot of levels for Donald Trump.
It works on a lot of levels. I mean, look, I guess there's sort of three lanes to take with this. I used to say tracks. Now I say lanes. But I think that, and I don't think that there's always value in still reiterating the fact and acknowledging the fact that, yes, this guy as a personality is obviously uniquely mentally and emotionally and psychographically unsuited to be where he is. I mean, he's unsuited to be in any position of authority. I wouldn't want him managing a regional fast food chain. So there is that. And I think that a lot of this stuff does come down to just, rage, resentment, aggression, and sense of incredibly short-term plays. Like, as I think even stepping out of the Paris Accords, he campaigned on it. He said, I'm definitely going to do it. And then there was a several-month-long lag, clearly because, he was sort of mixed minds about it. And then what happened was he went to Europe, and Macron beat him in a handshake contest, and Angela Merkel said he was a punk, and he was livid. So there you go. Steve Bannon's wing gets the win. But I think the bigger points that I want to sort of address, is that we'll get to the Republicans in a second, but there is still been this desire, and we hit this note a lot, but I think it's important to keep hitting it, that people from, Fareed Zakaria to Bob Schieffer to many other people who supposedly are sophisticated would search for moments, whether it was a speech where he just read the teleprompter and seemed, I mean, actually, by my standards, still totally not coherent, just, right-wing claptrap, or even going and doing a sort of, errant and non-strategic bombing of Syria. They were looking for these moments of and this happened throughout the whole campaign. Now he's the nominee. Maybe he'll stop being racist. Now he's the president. He'll grow into this job. And it was this incredible delusional wish against reality, which is really dangerous because this is who we're dealing with. And it's kind of like the press first was not able to make a distinction between, when the Republicans lie about their numbers, it's, 2 plus 2 equals 500 million. And then when Democrats lie about their numbers, it's 2 plus 2 equals 6.5, right? And those are the same
Right.
thing. And now it's gotten down to, this search for anything to make this normal. And I'm just wondering, like, are they ever going to accept that it's not?
I don't know. I think, the number, with a Gallup poll at 36, I think there starts to be consistent polling under 35. You start seeing 33s, 32s, the 30. George Bush at the 20. Each point drop when we get to 35, if it's consistent, because there's still some polls that'll have him at the low 40s, so we're averaging, around 38 or 39 now. But that average starts hitting 35 and below. With each point, that'll represent some 6.3 congressional or state house Republicans, right? Who will think, okay, it is to my political advantage to say what I've probably already been thinking if we assume there's some sanity in something.
Nah, that might be too generous.
Right, I got it. But for some who just think, okay, it becomes advantageous to me to step away from him and criticize him. Everything is politics, and as he continues to lose support and political power with it, I suspect that's the only way that will happen. I have, my crystal ball is shattered and in pieces on the floor, and my kid is cutting her feet on it.
Have you talked to your therapist about that?
I got nothing. Say what?
Have you talked to your therapist about that?
Yeah. You could probably sweep your floor. You've got a small child.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I given up trying, but the numbers are moving down, and he acts like a lunatic, and legitimately a guy who needs to be calmed down, a guy who needs to be drugged and sedated, at least at times. And so that's when Republicans will start to peel away, if they're ever going to. My fear is
I don't think so.
Is a bigger picture fear. I think that'll happen a little. My fear is what happens when they do start to pull away, and that same instinct that has Zakaria and Schieffer and those people who and who have had moments where they've uttered those foolish words. Van Jones too, right?
Yep.
This is when he becomes president.
Oh God.
We are so desperate. It's true among my friends who don't follow politics, who are alarmed but say, "Oh, John McCain, Susan Collins, and Ben Sass, Jeff Flake. These guys they're going to keep crazy things from happening." Right? And I think, I don't know where you're from or what you've been doing the last 20 years, but okay. But we'll settle for anything that isn't Trump afterwards, and in our desire for normalcy, and that the revolution, again, the revolution ends with a. I think I've said this before to you, but the revolution ends with Mike Pence running against Evan Bayh in 2020.
That is a truly stomach churning and disgusting thought.
Hey, Sam Seder here. Folks, you probably heard about the whole YouTube advertiser apocalypse. Well, we're suffering from it too. We need your help. If you want to keep this show alive, you want us to be able to still put out clips on a regular basis, head over to our Patreon page. Here's the link right here or down below there. And just give us a couple bucks a month and support this program. Really appreciate it.